Matthew, could I ask you to describe the season that you have had personally, the sacks, the success on the field, the 12 wins, everything?
Yeah, feels like it was a great season for me, great season for us. Right now we're where we want to be in the West Finals. So I'm happy with the way I played so far, happy with the group. Been saying it since training camp. The whole objective for us was to peak at the right time, and we wanted to be in this situation right now. So we just gotta show up tomorrow, play a good football game, and hopefully keep this project of ours going.
In the Week 3 game, was that you blowing kisses to the crowd here in Winnipeg?
No, I was blowing kisses to my family back home watching it on TV, so that was misinterpreted. But my grandparents watch it, even though it's later out east, and my family watches it. So no, it was for my family back home.
It was funny either way. It was enjoyable. As you come into this game, what's the biggest challenge in this Bombers offense, do you believe?
There's no biggest challenge, honestly. Obviously we all know they got Zach and Brady, so I mean they have a lot of good players. So for us, it's to be sound on every play. They're gonna make some big plays. They're gonna win some reps. We're gonna win some reps, and at the end of the day, it's who's gonna win the most plays that should come out on top. But yeah, of course, we need to limit the damage on the ground with Brady. And fitting our gaps properly, giving a clear picture for the linebackers. Us as a D-line, we need to fit gaps. And afterwards, if we can take a lead or if we can put them in a situation where they're more one-dimensional, well, the second challenge will be to stop or to limit the damage that Zach can do. So, yeah, it's a tough task where we are aware of that, but we know what we have in the room. We know we have talent. We play together, and, yeah, that's what we have to do tomorrow to come out with a win.
As a defense, how big a deal is it that Ben Helics won't be able to play tomorrow?
Ben is a really good player. He's been a good player ever since he stepped on the field last year. His role grew within this team, obviously, this year, being our leading tackler. He's a quiet leader. So, of course, we're losing a good player. But when you have Bola Combo replacing him, I think we're still in a good place. I have full confidence in either Bo or Ryder stepping in to fill his shoes. So yeah, it's next man up, and regardless of the result, it won't be make it or break it because of one player. It's us as a unit that needs to play well.
Thank you.
Matthew, you were able to get through for 3 sacks in that game back in June. I realize that was a while ago. 4 on the season against the Bombers, I think, and a couple of big forced fumbles for your team in that last game on Caleros. Do you feel some confidence from how it's gone in the games that you are going to be able to get into the backfield a bit?
Honestly, it changes from game to game. If you talk about confidence, I mean, the good thing for me playing against Winnipeg or these West teams is that we play them 3 times in the whole year, and a lot of guys carry over from previous seasons. So maybe I'm more used to playing these players, which makes it a little bit easier sometimes. But at the same time, they know me also, so it kind of goes both ways. But for me, it's game 4 this year. We played them in the West Finals last year, and it's all coming down to tomorrow. So whatever happened previously this year or last year, and it's all up to restart over again tomorrow and have a good game.
You mentioned Brady Olivera and his season. Obviously, he ended up getting the most outstanding Canadian nod, most outstanding player nod. These are the most outstanding player part of it is not common for a Canadian player. You had a great season as a Canadian player. Trey Ford comes along. Nick Dembski's had a great season. I'm just curious your thoughts on what you've seen from the Canadian talent in the league this year and in recent years.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of good players come from Canada and the CFL, and it's convenient since it's called the CFL. And talking to older guys, like let's say talking to my coach, John Bowman, he's been saying that he saw the growth of Canadian players ever since he started playing up till today. Guys coming from U Sports, coming from elsewhere in the NCAA. So yeah, there is talent for sure. And I mean, yeah, we do see it. Good players here in the CFL. More and more players go and play to the NFL. And yeah, I think it's a good thing. And yeah, my biggest wish, obviously, for football in Canada is that it keeps growing. And I want to see that at the CFL level. I want to see it at the college level. And I had the chance to play at Laval University, where I got great coaching, great football experience as a whole. And my wish is that anybody who goes and play to these lower levels and trying to make it to the CFL have the same experience as I did, because it was a fun 4 years being there. And I want to see that the game keep growing in Canada for sure and have more and more talent.
And just one last one from me, just in your words, what makes Brady Olivera so much of a challenge to play against?
He does a lot of things well. I think obviously a lot of things well. The best thing he does, I think, it's his vision. Everybody knows he runs the ball hard, but he's a patient runner, lets his gap develop, lets his O-line do the work, and will find the crease, a little bit later in the play. So I think that's where he's dangerous. So I think that's why I say that in order to have success, we need to make that picture as clear as possible for our linebackers so they can see the same thing that he sees, and to be able to limit him as much as possible.
Hey, Mathieu, just touching on Ted's question a little about the Canadians. So, Brent Johnson, whose record you broke, obviously, he's Canadian, but he also played at Ohio State, right? Everybody knows Ohio State is a football powerhouse. Trey Ford, U Sports product out of Waterloo. You yourself are a U Sports product. You mentioned out of Laval. Ben Helics, U Sports product out of UBC. Do you feel like, your accomplishments as a Canadian are made all the more special because you did come from that U Sports level, where some guys, especially in the draft, every year in the draft, it seems there's more NCAA players taken early rather than U Sports? You think it validates some of that U Sports experience that you had?
No, not at all, honestly. And I want U Sports to become as good as possible, and I want these top programs to improve. And I think everybody's on the right track. In the Canada West, more and more teams have become better. In the OUA, it's been stagnant. Same thing with the RSCQ in these last couple of years. But as a player, as an individual, I think you need to choose the place where it will fit for you the best for your college development, either if that's academics or sports or whatever fits you. And afterwards, if it's to go and play pro football, regardless where you're from, it's another level, it's another step that you need to grow into. So I think anybody can have the tools going anywhere and make it afterwards, but it's all about the work you put in. And obviously the environment where you are will play a big part in that, but that's up to everybody to choose what's the best path for them. And I don't think there's a better answer, to be honest.
Does it make you feel proud, though, maybe for someone who maybe doesn't get a D1 offer to go, well, Mathieu Betts played U Sports, so I can play you. Like you've shown that there's a pattern or a route that people can follow to be a record-setting Canadian player in the CFL.
Yeah, well, actually, I did have a couple of D1 offers, but from lower-end teams, and I chose Laval because I thought at the time that it was the best fit for me, the best environment for me to become as good as a football player as possible and have the best time in college as possible. So I really chose it instead of other D1 schools where other people might have went a different path. But I chose the school that I wanted to go to, the team that I wanted to go to. And I am proud to represent Laval for sure. I still have ties there. Obviously, all the coaches are still there. A bunch of my best friends still live in Quebec City. So it does make me proud to represent Laval. The U Sports level, I don't see myself as a poster boy for U Sports, but it just shows that anywhere you want to play, if you put in the time, if you're put in the right environment, you can go and play. At the highest levels, it's just up to you to just slowly grind it through.
Thank you.
Just knowing that Dalton Schoen is out and that a couple other receivers for the Bombers are a little nicked up, obviously stopping Brady tomorrow is going to be a priority regardless. But does it become almost even a bigger priority, just knowing that there's a good chance that he'll be even more active tomorrow?
No, it's not like Dalton Schoen won't be playing, so they're just scratching a receiver off the roster. Somebody else will jump in, and I'm not quite sure who that guy is yet. I haven't peeked at the depth chart yet, but obviously they have depth, and they got other guys stepping up. So they do have Dembski and Lawler there at receiver. So obviously Schoen is a really good player, and he has that connection with Zach. So that's obviously that's a tough loss for them, but I don't see him out as being even a bigger part on stopping Brady. We have to stop him even if Dalton was in the lineup. So it doesn't change much from my perspective.
Let's go straight, Chris. Yeah, we better wrap up.
Okay. Matthew, how would you describe the culture of your team?
We have fun. Honestly, I don't know. It's different from other places that I've been to, but it reminds me a little bit of a high school football team where I don't know. Everybody just enjoys their time playing football. Everybody's having fun. A little bit more laid back, but when it's time to work, we're working and we take pride in what we do. We have fun on game day. I mean, especially when we're at BC Place. I mean, with our fans and everything. So no, I think it's a big party. That's what the culture is about, and it makes it easier to come in for work, to work every day and enjoy to play football.
How much of that comes from Rick Campbell?
I think he has a lot with it, honestly. Whenever we have a big win and we celebrate together, I mean, he's just out there in the back, just low key looking at all of this, and I think he has a big part in that, to just let us be ourselves, let everybody's personality shine. If you're a quiet guy or a louder guy or a funny guy, I mean, everybody has his place in this locker room, and I think that's why we have that culture that we talk, is that everybody gets to be who he is, and that's what makes us special. Thank you, guys.